Welcome to Veranda IAS. In today's current affairs session of polity, we are going to learn about inner line permit, that is ILP system, which was in force in some of the states of India, particularly the northeastern states. So the learning objective of today's session is to discuss the inner line permit. What is inner line permit? Outline the reasons for inner line permit in news. So why we are studying now? So this is since from 1950, even in British times, this inner line permit system is there. Why are we studying now? So we'll study. So examine the key issues of this ILP system. Explain the chronicles of ILP. So let us get into the session. So first, what is inner line permit? So inner line permit is a official travel document given by a state government, not union government, given by a state government that allows an Indian citizen to enter a protected region for certain time. So this is nothing but a kind of visa. So if you are entering into any foreign country, so you need passport and you need visa. Either that visa has to be obtained priorly or it will be given to you on the time of your landing, that is visa on arrival. Anyway, you need to get visa. Visa is the permission that foreign country gives to you that this person is visiting this country for this purpose and will be staying in this country for this particular time. So this is what visa is, right? So same wise in India, we have freedom to movement. So which article says that? Which article says that? You would have studied in polity. If not, you will study. So Article 19 guarantees that. Article 19 guarantees that every citizen of India has a right to free movement throughout the territory of India. So this is the fundamental right guarantee to every citizen, but there are certain restrictions imposed on these rights also. These rights are not absolute. So there are some restrictions, reasonable restrictions. What is the restriction placed on this right, that is right to free movement throughout India? One is the interest of general public, and second one is a interest of scheduled tribes. So your movement, any person's movement should not affect the well-being or interest of any scheduled tribes. This ILP system was actually originally conceived by British as an instrument to protect their economic interest. But after independence, Indian government uses this ILP system to protect the interest of scheduled tribes of northeastern region. Yes, northeastern region. This ILP system is in force in 4 states. All those 4 states will be northeastern states. So what are all those states? First, Arunachal, Manipur, Mizoram and Nagaland. So you have to keep this in mind. So which states are under the ILP regime? So which states are not under the ILP regime? Assam is not under ILP system. Meghalaya is not under ILP system. Tripura is not under ILP system. The rest of the 4 northeastern states are under ILP system, and Jammu and Kashmir does not have any ILP system. Normally students used to tend to confuse. They will add Jammu and Kashmir in this list. No, these are the only 4 northeastern states under the ILP system. So originally this ILP system was conceived by British as an instrument to protect their economic interest, but later after independence, the same system which was devised by British people was used by Indian government to protect the interest of tribal people. How this is going to protect the interest of tribal people, we will study. So now by this time, I am sure you will be clear about what is ILP system. It is actually an official travel document given by respective state governments. For example, if you are visiting Manipur, you have to file with the state government of Manipur a ILP request. The state government of Manipur will grant you permission to visit the state or any particular regions of the state, and they will specify the time of your stay. You have to exit the area before the end of the time. So this is the ILP system. So Indian residents from outside certain states, these are the states, these four are the states. Indian residents from outside certain states are required to get a permission before visiting this protected state. Which is protected state? Protected by ILP system. So this protected state is different from what we study in environment and ecology. That protected area is different. This is protected by ILP system. The paper is a part of government's endeavor to limit migration to particular locations near India's international border. See, tribal people during British rule, every section of Indian society has suffered from their rule. It was the tribal people who suffered much more than other sections of the society, since they are illiterate, since they don't have any connections with the outside world. They are so much naive, so they are not aware about the happenings of outer world. But since all those tribal people were exploited heavily by British people and also some sections of Indian people. So who are they? The money lenders. So they used to go to the tribal settlements, they used to introduce some new technologies, new forms which they are so far unaware of, such as usage of money. Tribal people does not have the habit of using money. So they used to conduct their trade only in barter system. This money lending people, they go into the tribal settlements and they introduce some new form of agriculture or plantation. For that they need money. This money lending people, they will initially help them with some loans or debts, and after that they will be caught in a debt trap. So this kind of exploitations were going on in British period in tribal settlements. So the root cause of all these problems, most of the problems faced by tribal people in pre-independence era was due to the intrusion of outsiders into their settlements. If these outside people were not there, tribal people will be living happily. So that is why, to protect those people's their interest, initially this ILP system was used. See, and also in India, every citizen have right to reside and settle in any part of the country. See, for example, consider the case of Nagaland. It is a tribal, all the states of northeastern India are tribal dominated states. Most of the people will be tribal people, since some of the states are also under the protection of 6th schedule of constitution. What is 6th schedule? 6th schedule grants some excess autonomy to these states, particularly to these tribal groups, excess autonomy. That kind of autonomy you would not imagine to any other states of India. That kind of autonomy is available to these people. Why? Because they are tribal people. They have to take care of their own happenings. So this is the protection. This protection will only be available to the states as long as it is a tribal majority states. See, if any outsider can settle in these states, what will happen? The non-tribal people will go and settle in their states, and it will change the demographies of this dominated tribal majority state. It will become a non-tribal majority state from a tribal majority state, and hence as a result they will lose their protection under 6th schedule or under 5th schedule. So these 5th and 6th schedule, both these schedules were inserted in our constitution, were enacted in our constitution for the protection of tribal people only, particularly 6th schedule for this PVTG groups, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So if outsiders settlement were to be allowed in the states, they will lose their protection, they will lose their identity, they will lose their hold on their economy, they will lose their hold on their land, everything. So that is why this ILP system was introduced. So using this ILP system, these state governments keeps effective check on the migration movement of outsider people into this tribal dominated region. So an ILP is typically easier to get than the similar protected area permit. So ILP is one, PAP is another one, protected area permit. See, Indian citizens has to obtain ILP before visiting these states. In case if any foreigner is visiting any of these 4 states, they have to obtain protected area permits because these areas were declared as protected areas, which is out of bounds for foreigners unless and until is there any compelling reasons for visit, such as any research or medical purposes. Unless and until is there any compelling purposes, foreigners will not be allowed to visit these regions since they are protected areas. So this ILP compared to PAP, ILP is much easier to obtain. So why this ILP system is in use? So in September 2021, inaugurating many development projects in Manipur. So Manipur is a state which is currently under ILP regime. So the Union Home Minister emphasized the importance of ILP system. Since the Home Minister himself speaks about ILP system, it becomes important, right? So among the projects, so what are the projects that was inaugurated? Thoubal multi-purpose project. So it is important from prelims point of view. You may get questions from match the following kind of question or any other type. So Thoubal multi-purpose project is in which state? Is in which state? Is in Manipur. So Thoubal is a river, it's a tributary of Manipur river. And Impal Integrated Command and Control Center. What is the capital of Manipur? It is Impal. The Planning Commission actually originally evaluated this Thoubal multi-purpose project in 1980. So this project is such a old one. It was initially conceived by Planning Commission of India, which estimated cost of 47.25 crore, but it was delayed severely. It was proposed in 2004 again, but nothing transpired until 2014 when the project was shelved. So in 2004 from 14, so effectively till 2014 this project was actually shelved. After that only this project was initiated and it was completed, inaugurated in September 2021 by the Union Home Minister. So this project would irrigate 35,104 hectares of land in and around the Impal region. Actually, this Thoubal multi-purpose project is only few kilometers away from the capital city of Impal. Along the Thoubal river, a tributary of Manipur river. So this is another prelims fact. So obviously not from polity. So but still, you have to take knowledge wherever it is. So the Thoubal river is a tributary of Manipur river. Thoubal multi-purpose project is situated in which state? Manipur state. So now, what are the key issues of ILP system? So ILP has been a long-standing desire of indigenous people of Manipur. Manipur is a recent state which is brought under this ILP regime. So ILP has been a long-standing desire of indigenous people of Manipur. Who is indigenous people? That is tribal people of Manipur, and rejecting it would have been an injustice to them. Every northeastern state has been demanding this ILP system, but it was granted only to these 4 states. As a result, Manipur along with Nagaland's Dimapur district. So entire Nagaland was actually under ILP system before December 2019 except the district of Dimapur. Why? Dimapur is considered as the economic capital of Nagaland. So it is actually fondly dubbed as a mini India. So if ILP system is introduced in Dimapur district, it will hurt the economic interest, it will hurt the business community, since the outsiders will not able to come to Dimapur and they cannot able to stay there for long, they cannot able to conduct business conducively. So as a result, Manipur along with Nagaland's Dimapur district was placed under the ILP system in December 2019. As I said, Manipur is the last state to be included in ILP system along with a particular district of one district, that is Dimapur in Nagaland. Dimapur was the only district in Nagaland that was not covered by the ILP system owing to the district's economic importance and diverse population. So since it is an economic center, outside people, not only from Nagaland, people from other parts of India used to go there. They used to conduct economic transactions. See, consider a hypothetical example. What if ILP system is introduced in Bangalore? So then will Bangalore will be continued as a cosmopolitan city, or will it become a local city? So it will transfer itself to a local city. So that is what ILP actually does. It effectively stops outsiders interference, outsiders communication with the region or with the place. So that is why so far Dimapur was not included in ILP system, but since the locals have been demanding more control over the resources, eventually Dimapur was also introduced into the ILP bracket. Pressure groups in the northeast region regard this permission as a safeguard against illegal migration. See, which people usually used to migrate to this tribal people? Mostly people from Bengal region or people from Bangladesh. See, they have been urging the union government to protect their regions from the influx of immigrants from Bangladesh or settlers from West Bengal, Bengali speaking population, that is non-tribal population. So that is why every state in northeastern India has been demanding ILP system, but that was not granted actually. So what are the chronicles of ILP? The ILP, what is the history of ILP? The ILP, which was implemented under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations of 1873, this system was originally introduced by British people. It is not a brainchild of Indian government. It was introduced by British people. It is an official travel document that permits an Indian citizen to enter protected or restricted territory for specified duration. So Indian citizen, or to be precise, British subjects. Why British subjects? Because in 1873 we are under the domination, subjugation of British government. So India as a country, India is not an independent country then. So there is no concept of Indian citizens. We are all British subjects then at that point of time. So this Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulations was introduced to stop British subjects, that is our Indian people, to entering into these regions. Which region? So effectively Assam region. So Assam at the time was under Bengal Presidency, Bengal province. So the East India Company used to undertake tea plantations in this Assam region. So to protect those tea plantations, to protect Indian entrepreneurs, to protect Indian persons from undertaking any tea plantations, or to protect these laborers who are working in the tea plantations from escaping from it, this kind of ILP system, that is this regulations, was brought by British Parliament, which effectively actually stops outsiders from entering into this region. This act was adopted during British era to safeguard the Crown's economic interest. This is not originally conceived to protect the tribal identities of northeastern people. It was actually conceived to protect the English government's economic interest in certain territories by prohibiting the British subjects from trading. British subjects in the sense Indians from trading. Indians could not enter, they could not trade, only East India Company has right to do so. The Indian government replaced the term British subjects with Indian citizens, that is citizens of India, in 1950, that is on the date on which Indian Constitution came into force. But we did so not to protect any economic interest, but to protect the interest of tribal peoples. An imaginary border known as the inner line, a line inside the boundaries of India, that is inner line permit. An imaginary border known as inner line was drawn between the two villages to ensure the neither could cross it without obtaining permission from the relevant authorities, that is relevant state governments. And you have to keep it in mind that only the state governments are empowered to issue this inner line permit. It is up to the central government to include any state under ILP system or to exclude any state from ILP system. But it is a duty of the state government to give or deny permission to any person or citizen or non-citizens to enter into these areas. It is a specific permission that outsiders in the sense non-local people, people from other states. It is a specific permission that outsiders from other parts of the country are obligated to get in order to access these notified states, these 4 states. It is issued by the state government and may be used strictly for travel reasons. Foreign visitors require a protected area permit, which I said earlier, to visit tourist attractions, which is distinct from the ILPs. So Indian citizens need to obtain ILPs, in the inner line permits, while the foreign tourists who are visiting these states, they have to obtain protected area permits. All regions situated within the ILP, that is inner line, as established in the aforementioned order, and the state's international border, that is states bordering neighbor countries, have been proclaimed as protected areas by the Foreigners Order of 1958. So all these 4 states which are included in the ILP system and the regions surrounding the international border, they have been declared as protected areas, not only these northeastern states. The region surrounding India-Pakistan border, the region surrounding India-China border, India-Nepal border, India-Bhutan border, all these international borders, the region surrounding them, they were declared as protected areas along with the states which are included in the ILP system. Hence, foreigners need to obtain a special permit, that is protected area permit, to visit these areas. Unless there are compelling grounds for a visit, a foreign individual will generally not permitted to enter a protected or restricted area unless the government deems that there are compelling reasons for the visit. Compelling reasons such as research purposes, medical reasons, visiting a relative, family affairs, these kind of reasons are only allowed. Other than this, foreigners were not allowed to visit this region. So students, we are at the end of our session. So in today's session, we have learnt about inner line permit. What is inner line permit system? Reasons for inner line permit system in news, why it is in news, and key issues on ILP. So what are the key issues that tribal people were facing on account of this ILP? And we explained the Chronicles backdrop of this ILP system. So that is all for today's LU. We will meet in another polity LU. Until then, thank you very much.